So here is my bread. You tap on it and it's hollow. Good morning, guys. It is a Saturday morning, December the 12th, and I am going to make some bread. I decided I'm going to make some Amish white bread today. It's kind of a sweeter loaf, and I think I'm going to use it to make French toast tomorrow morning. So anyways, I'll take you along with me. See you in a bit. Okay friends, here's the recipe I'm using for the Amish white bread. It yields 2 loaves. It starts with 2 cups of water at 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 2/3 cup of white sugar, 1½ tablespoons yeast, 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and 5 to 6 cups of bread flour. Okay, so I already have in here the 2 cups of warm water, and then I added the 2/3 cup of sugar already. I'm going to sprinkle my yeast over the top. This is 1½ tablespoons. And then what I will do now is whisk it together so it all mixes in and the sugar dissolves. So what I'll do is just let this sit for about 5 minutes so that the yeast will activate. Okay, so I waited the 5 to 10 minutes. What I did was just empty the dishes and made some coffee, and by that time my yeast got nice and foamy. And when it looks like that, that just means your yeast is active and alive. So if your yeast does not do this, then you need to throw it out and you need to get some fresh yeast. So the next step now is to combine the oil. So I have my 1/4 cup of oil and my 1½ teaspoons of salt. So that's 1 teaspoon, and then 1/2 teaspoon, and you whisk that in. So I'll do that. So now what I'm going to do is just attach it to my mixer and then start adding the flour. Okay, so we've added most of our ingredients. All we need now is the flour.
The flour!
Yes, babe, the flour. So we are going to add it 1 cup at a time.
Yeah, 1 cup at a time.
Until the dough pulls away from the sides.
The dough!
So let's turn it on. Ooh, let's lift the bowl. So that's 1 cup. Five cups. And I'm going to let that actually mix and see where I'm at before I add the final cup. Okay, so this is 5 cups of flour, and it's fully incorporated, and as you can see, it's still really wet. So I'm going to add the last cup. Well, actually, I just did about 1/2 there. Let's see how that looks. Go ahead and add the rest. So that will total 6 cups of flour. So it's actually pulling from the sides of the bowl, and it's cleaning really nicely. So this might actually do it. stop it.
Thank you.
When you touch it, it's still sticking to my fingers a little bit, but because I like my dough to be a little bit wetter, I'm gonna leave that alone. So I'm gonna turn this back on and let this knead for 5 minutes, and then I'll bring you back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so my dough has kneaded for about 5 minutes.
And I go to
I'm just gonna take it off of the mixer, if it'll cooperate, and then I'm gonna bring it over to my board. So I just have this dough scraper that helps pull it out of the bowl nice and clean.
Look at my window. It's bigger than yours.
So I'm just gonna shape it into a ball. Okay, so I shaped it into a ball, and I'm just gonna spray my bowl. Drop that in there. Spray the top so it doesn't dry out. And then I'm gonna let this rise in a place where there's no drafts and it's nice and warm until it's doubled in size, which could take an hour, could take longer, it just depends. And set it in my microwave. Okay, so here's my dough. It doubled in size and it took about an hour. And so it's really beautiful. I'm gonna take it out. It is dough, babe.
Mommy, I see the dough.
I'm gonna take it out.
Mommy, I see the dough. Mommy, this is dough.
Knead it a little bit.
Wait a bit.
And then I'm gonna weigh it.
And then I can weigh it.
About 50 ounces.
Yeah! Mommy, it's melting down.
What?
It's melting down.
Cut it in half.
Kind of what?
In half.
Oh.
So that's about even. You absolutely don't have to weigh your dough. You can eyeball it. But
Yeah,
just
eyeball
weigh it. So I'm just gonna let it rest for a little bit, and then I am gonna shape it into loaves. Okay, so my dough has rested for about 5 minutes, and now I'm ready to shape them. I have 2 9x5 loaf pans that I've already greased. So I just need to shape these to loaves. And just use my hands to press it out, but you can use a rolling pin.
Another big one. Okay? So this, I will be quiet. Now, I make a new color.
Actually, I'm going to spray the tops
Color now work.
before I cover it with plastic. So here's my next piece of dough. I want to make sure you get out all the air bubbles too. Okay, there are my 2 loaves. I'm going to spray the top. Cover it with plastic wrap. And then I'm gonna set it in the microwave to rise for another 30 minutes or so until the dough reaches about 1 inch above the pan. So here are my loaves. I'm gonna pop them into a preheated oven at 350 degrees. And then I will bring you back when it's all done. So here is my bread. You tap on it and it's hollow. I also took the temperature and it's about 195, so that's good enough for me. I'm gonna turn these out of the pans. You can see it's hollow on the bottom as well. So I'm just buttering the tops.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna let this cool before I cut into it.
Ready? Go. And ready to walk.
They're really pretty. I put it on a half sheet pan to help with if any butter just kind of drips to the bottom, but once it cools, I'll cut it open and I'll show you. Okay, so here's my bread. It's cooled down for the most part, and I'm just gonna slice into it. Here's the crumb. It's nice and fluffy. Let me cut a few more slices. It's still pretty warm actually, so it's a little bit hard for me to cut. Looks pretty nice. So since it's still a little bit warm, I'm gonna set it down on the end. So it's nice and fluffy, soft. I'm gonna have a little bite of the heel. This will taste really good with some salted butter. Mmm. Yum. Okay, well that's it for me, guys. I am gonna go ahead and sign off for now. I am gonna use this for French toast tomorrow. I hope you try this recipe whenever you get the chance, and if you like it, just let me know. Thanks. See ya.